Manakamakale, Ungasapropko Mikinandri. Thank you guys so much for being here for another episode of the Dads in Podcast / interview series that we were doing with Sony Music. And today we have an incredible talent. I'm not just going to say musician because we got more stuff going on now than just a musician. Now he's now a director. But we're going to have Darbuka. Is that how I say it? Darbuka Siva. But you want me to just call you Siva. Is that correct?
Yeah. Shiva should be fine. Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna call him Siva, just because we're close like that now. We're
Yeah.
machis, we're machans. So okay, okay. So before we get into this, we're gonna talk about your new song. And I think I messed up the way I said it earlier too. I think I said Puridai. Is that correct?
Pudidai. Yeah, almost there.
Puridai.
Pudidai.
By the way, guys, we're gonna talk about that later. But that song, it's incredible. It's beautiful. I was listening to it earlier today. Just the intro is great, and then it gets into all kinds of different. Oh man, it's good. It's really good. Okay, and then we're going to talk about his new movie that he's directing as well. But before we do that, let me brag a little bit for him because I'm sure he doesn't want to brag himself because he seems like a very humble person. I started doing my research on Siva, and I couldn't believe some of the projects you've already worked on. You worked on, well, first off, I didn't know you were an actor, and you were an actor in 4 different films, right? And the biggest one I would say would be the Rajathandiram. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rajathandram. Yeah.
And I was doing some research on that. It looks good. That looks really cool.
Thank you.
And then just as a composer, music. I mean, we've got films. Probably the biggest one I think everybody's going to know for sure. They probably know all these. See, for me, I'm like, I see these. I'm like, oh, I don't recognize that. They probably recognize them all. But Inai Noki Payam Tota.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah. And that's with Danush, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. And then Rocky also.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, some of this stuff. And now, not only that, I'm looking at all the different performances. You've had multiple different on-stage performances. I mean, this is crazy from 2007 all the way to 2006. I mean, just the list on Wikipedia is just insane.
Mm-hmm.
But what's super cool, you guys, is now he's a movie director. Bunal ni Murivan ni. Did I get that close?
Almost. Mudalni Mudivumni. Yeah. Almost. Yeah.
Okay. And just so you guys know, everything that we're going to talk about today is going to be down in the description. I want you guys to go watch. Number one, watch the video that's on Sony Music South. It's a beautiful song. I think you're gonna have a lot of great memories. It's funny is because I watched that Siva, and like obviously there's not a lot of memories for me from India, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But just the music itself, because there's a little bit of Western culture in there. I heard some almost like a little country sounding stuff in there. It's really cool. So I think everybody's going to love that song. All right.
Thank you so much.
Anyhow, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure our audience is going to be excited to hear what you got going on. All right. So now that we bragged about him a little bit, and I'm sure I missed all kinds of different things because I did so much research on you. I mean, there's just, you got so many things going on. You're like a multi-talented guy, dude. It's so cool. Where did you get or how did you develop being a musician, an actor, a director? Like, how did this all come about for you?
I think it all started with music first, and also with music. I'm a self-taught musician. I've never been to a class ever in my life, and
What?
I've never had a teacher.
What?
So
That's crazy.
yeah, and also I'm a pretty late starter in terms of playing an actual instrument. I'm quite a late starter. Because you must have heard like people from here, like all these prodigies who started singing when they were like 4 and 5 and playing an instrument when they were 6 and 7. Because the classical music tradition here is so strong, you start very early. And in my head, when I was growing up, I come from like a suburb of Chennai, um, like an outskirt kind of a thing. And but the only thing is there was like a great cultural mix in the area I was living in. Uh, I like we live with a lot of Anglo-Indian people here, like who have like a very interesting influences that they come with. And and I studied in a Christian, like a Catholic school. So it was a good mix of cultures in the area I grew up with. So that's in
Nice.
fact my first, in terms of influence, in terms of the kind of music I started hearing. And I'd be walking in the road, and like someone would be playing Elvis Presley on in their house, because like it's an Anglo-Indian house and they listen to rock
Right.
and roll music.
That's
So,
cool.
so I started listening to rock and roll music, and I started like developing interest for like all sorts of music, like when I was growing up. And of course, film music from here is very strong. You can never escape film music here because it's everywhere, all
Yeah.
around. So I grew up listening to film music, but I was also kind of very interested in Western music to start with, like rock and roll and all that.
Okay.
And in my house, there used to be like this record player of music from ABBA, and like I
What?
remember, I
ABBA.
remember, I remember ABBA, Boney M. I remember the records that we had in my house. So we had that, and then we had some cassettes that we used to listen to. So we had like Michael Jackson, Bad, and Michael
Because
Bolton,
I'm
and those kind of,
bad. I'm bad. You know it. That's
yeah,
awesome.
and Michael Bolton and all that. So while I was growing up, it was that MTV generation, and like MTV was huge, and like I started listening to music from MTV and all that.
Wow.
But all through my school time, I never got to even touch an instrument because I had no access for it. I couldn't afford a
Okay.
class or anything. So till my 12th standard, which is about like when I was about till about 17 years old, I've never touched an instrument. I've never played an instrument. So after that, I,
That is insane. That is crazy. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about the music that you've like. The song that I just listened to. That blows my mind that somebody who's never trained can do something like that. That's crazy. Go on. Sorry.
so after I finished school, I got a chance to get into college, and that's when I got a chance to get into the city. And it's great that we're talking about this song and also this journey of mine, because there are so many things that's there in the song that I've done personally. Like I've gone to all these malls where they have these kiosks where I can go and listen to music, because that's the only place where I could get to listen to new music. And I'd spend like half a day there, like till I'm hungry. I
Wow.
just stand there and listen to music there, because that's where you get to listen to. I used to listen to Santana, and like I used to listen to
Whoa, little
Gloria Estefan.
Santana.
That's why I discovered world music, because there used to be a
That's
section called
crazy.
world music. So
So that's why you put that scene in the video where
yeah,
they're
exactly,
going to the
exactly.
record things and
Yeah,
I saw like Titanic up on the thing. They're
yeah,
listening to music. Oh,
yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah. In fact, Sting, like I discovered Sting in a listening kiosk, and I just absolutely freaked out on his music because I love Sting. Like, so
Nice. Well, Sting's got a
so
pretty
so that's
incredible
how it all
voice.
started. Like, and after college, I kind of I started hanging out in concerts, and there used to be bands from abroad, like from South Africa and from Vienna and from US. They used to come to Chennai to perform. So
Wow.
I couldn't afford the tickets for the performance. So what I do is I'd sneak in while the musicians enter for sound check, and I used to hang out throughout the sound check, and that's my first learning. That's where I learned music. And in fact, maybe you see real musicians sound checking. So that's where the musicians are so real. Like
So you
you
learned
get
how you learned about music and you learned how to be a criminal all at the same time. I'm just kidding. That is so cool. Okay, so was there any like really, really big bands that you got to go and like hear when you were in college time that you remember that experience? You're like, oh my gosh, this one was
yeah,
just so cool.
yeah. You know what? Like the kind of bands that came in were like the influences were so different. There was this band from South Africa, the singer called Letta Blue.
Okay.
So she's this old singer, like and an absolute cat on stage, like it's almost like this whole Miriam Makeba vibe. No, she just used to go on stage and like group. So that's one band I remember. And also
Okay.
there was this band from I mean it's an orchestra from Vienna, like
Ooh.
Vienna orchestra was there. And that's my first performance. Like that's the first time I'm watching a classical music orchestra
Wow.
playing, like a proper like Viennese orchestra. And the first piece they played was Spring from Vivaldi. And that's the first time I heard Vivaldi, and it just blew my
Oh,
mind. And
wow.
like, I still remember
That's a
that
good
concert
first
so well.
concert. That's a good
Yeah,
first
yeah.
concert to go
It's
to.
brilliant. Yeah, it was
Because
brilliant.
classical music, look, most people don't appreciate it.
Yeah,
They hear it and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is really pretty music." But until you can see an actual orchestra play it, because I've
yeah,
been able to go to theaters and things like that, Hollywood Bowl here, and they put all those
yeah,
performances. It's a different experience.
yeah.
It's incredible. Um, wow, that is really cool. I love the fact that you put your life's journey kind of into this video. That's really cool. I didn't know that. See, this is why we do these interview guys, because we get the
Exactly.
inside information that nobody else gets to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So,
In fact, this is the first time I'm talking about this incident, and also with the
oh
film. I
wow.
think I've spoken about the song, but I haven't spoken about this particular
Oh,
thing that has actually
well,
happened in my life.
well, you probably don't want to talk about it because then they're going to come arrest you for sneaking into concerts. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. That's a really cool story. I love that. I love hearing stories. This is why I love doing these interviews, because this is how you get to know like the artists and the people. Like I think a lot of the times us as fans, we forget that um our favorite musicians, our favorite actors or whatever else, they're just normal people too. And these types of interviews, we get to connect to them more, and it's awesome. So that's cool. I love hearing those stories. It's great. All right, now they're really going to get to know you. Are you ready for this? We're going to do this fast series. I call it This or That. I'm going to give you two things, and you got to pick one. Okay.
Okay.
And you
Okay.
can't say neither. You have to pick one. You have to at least pick one. Okay.
Let's
All
see
right.
how tricky this is going to get. So,
Okay. All right. I won't be hard on you. I won't be hard on you. Okay. We'll start with an easy one. Okay.
mhm.
Coffee or tea?
Tea. Though I'm not a huge fan of both, but I'd pick tea. Yeah.
Okay. I would pick tea too. I'm not a coffee guy. I
Yeah.
just
Need it.
yeah. And mine, it would have to be iced tea. I don't like hot tea. So
Okay.
okay. All right. Next one. See, these are easy. These aren't hard. All right.
Yeah. Sure.
Summer or winter time? Summer or winter time?
Winter.
Winter. All right. Car or a motorcycle?
Car.
All right. Cats or dogs?
Cats. They're
Cats.
quite
Okay.
independent. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I have cats and dogs, so
Okay.
I would prefer a dog though. All right. Here we go. Reading or listening to music? Reading or listening to music?
I love both actually. Can I say reading while I listen to music?
That that's fair. I'll let you do that. I'll let you do it.
I,
That's fine.
I always listen to music, even when I'm reading scripts. I love to listen to music when I read scripts that comes to me. So yeah.
That's cool. See, for me, like it's hard for me to read and listen to music at the same time because I start thinking about the music and I can't concentrate on what I'm reading. Maybe I'm not
Mm.
as multi-talented as you are.
No,
So
no, there's just one thing. I always listen to instrumentals when I listen to scripts, when I
that's
read
smart.
scripts or when I read. I don't like to listen to vocal music when I read because you
That's
start
smart.
listening to the vocals. Yeah. So
Yep.
instrumental.
I can't do it. Okay, cool. All right. This is, I don't know. Your mom and dad probably aren't going to like this one, but tattoo or a piercing? You got to get a tattoo or you got to get pierced.
Tattoo. I have a tattoo. So tattoo. Yeah.
Uh, well, there
Piercing.
you
I
go.
don't think so. Yeah.
Should we ask where this tattoo is, or just we'll leave it alone?
Oh, it's fine. It's on my arm, and it's a tattoo of it's a tattoo of a mermaid. So yeah.
Of a mermaid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. All right. Um, all right. A new phone or a new laptop computer?
Laptop maybe. Mac. Yeah.
That so you can work on your projects and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, he's always thinking work, dude. That's a working man right there, dude. That's where see the guy who likes to play on his phone would be like, oh, a new phone. I could play PUBG or I could, you know, take photos and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a working man right there. I like
Yeah.
it.
I use my phone, but I don't binge on my phone. Like I use it only on a need to use basis. Yeah.
There you go. I like that. I need to start doing that more. I use my phone way too much. My wife is always getting mad at me. Can you get off your phone? I'm like, well, I'm checking to see. if the fans are writing me back, I don't.
Oh yeah.
It's a social media thing. Okay. All right. Here we go. Mountains or the beach?
Hmm. Actually, I love both, but in this phase, maybe I love the beach more.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I'm a
Yeah.
beach guy. I'm a beach guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one of these. Spicy or sweet when it comes to food? Spicy or sweet?
Spicy, but not too spicy. But
Okay.
instead of sweet, I would choose spicy. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a sweets guy, but however, I love them together, sweet and spicy.
Oh,
Ooh,
you
yeah.
mix it up, is it?
Yeah. So I had the other
Wow.
day
I
for
can
lunch,
never do that.
I had a what did I have? It was coconut curry shrimp, and it had a little bit of the sweet from the coconut and then a little bit of the spicy from the curry. Oh, it was
Oh, oh,
absolutely
I can do that.
delicious.
In fact, that's my favorite mix. Like anything that mixed with coconut, I'm always on for it. Yeah, I love
Uh,
that mix. Yeah.
Perfect. See, that's just good right there. Okay. All right, I got a few more fun questions for you. They're not the this or that,
Super.
but these are just regular questions. Okay. What is your like favorite food? If somebody said, Siva, what's your favorite food right now? I'll get it for you right now. What would you pick?
From anywhere, is it?
Anywhere in the world, any kind of food, anything.
Oh, there's so much actually.
There is. There
There
is.
is so much. Um, but a proper pizza, maybe
Ooh. Okay.
like a proper Naples style pizza, because I spend a lot of time playing in an Italian restaurant here, like a proper Italian restaurant when I started out early on, and I've had like proper Italian pizza, like the proper
Ooh.
one. So
Yeah. Good for
I
you. A little.
love that.
And now you do you prefer like a thin crust or like a just a hand tossed?
Like a thin crust, like a proper wooden oven thing.
Yep. Perfect. Oh, it's the best, dude. So good. That's a great pick, by the way. And this is funny. I've done these kinds of questions before in interviews. That one always seems to be the hardest question for people.
Oh yeah,
It's funny because food, we all love food, you
yeah.
know? And so it's everybody's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to pick. It's so funny. It's just cool. Because I'm a foodie. So this is why a lot of the questions are about food because I love food. All right. This is going to be a cool one. I want to hear your answer to this because you've got a lot of Western
Mhm.
influence a little bit just from your experience of music and movies and stuff. So, favorite Hollywood movie? Favorite Hollywood movie?
Okay, this is a tough one. I have quite a lot.
Yeah, this is a hard one too. I know.
Oh, there's so much. Like there's so much of Woody Allen's movie that I love. There's so much of
Ooh.
Linklater's movie I love. There's Scorsese. There's the list goes on and on. But if there's one movie which I keep returning ever, it's a tough one. Maybe between Annie Hall and Midnight in Paris.
Oh, okay. Midnight in
Annie
Paris.
Hall,
That's
maybe.
okay. Okay. I saw Midnight in Paris. That's a really, really good movie. I mean,
Yeah,
the direction on that, all that stuff is
yeah, it's
really cool.
brilliant.
It's different, but it's really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's brilliant.
That is, when you started saying you're like, oh, I love Woody Allen. I was like, wow, this guy really knows like movies. Most people are like, oh, I love, I don't know, Star Wars or, I mean, not to say that that's not good.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
agree.
but yeah, that's cool. I like that. All right. Last question, then we're going to get into your project here. And I always have to ask this because I'm such a big fan of biryani. Um,
Oh,
so if you have to have biryani, are you going to pick mutton biryani, chicken biryani, or veg biryani?
okay. I turned veg like 5 6 years ago.
Okay.
So before that, I would choose one of those, but now veg biryani definitely.
Okay. And here's another question. Does veg biryani actually count as biryani? There's a debate out there. There's a debate. I don't know. I don't. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, see, the initial the initial idea was biryani was supposed to be with meat. So
Okay.
we call it biryani and birinji. Birinji is supposed to be something that's vegetarian.
Okay.
But then this whole tradition of veg biryani came in when some North Indian restaurants started here and all that. So this whole terminology of veg biryani came in. But I still relate to biryani as something that's got meat in it. For me,
Okay. Okay. Well, there. Hey, that's a better explanation than I can give. So I like it. All right. Let's talk about this project now.
yeah.
This music, guys, this song. Well, first off, we'll talk about the song and then we'll talk about
Okay.
the movie, because the song, I'm going to leave a link. I want everybody to go listen to the song. It's on Sony Music South right now. Um, the song itself, just a gorgeous song. Like I said earlier, the influences that you've gotten here in this song are amazing. It starts out with some, dun, 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 and then it goes into like this. And by the way, Jonita Gandhi's voice is
Yeah.
just heavenly.
Oh, she's
Wow.
brilliant. Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
brilliant.
just a heavenly voice. So why in this particular song did you want to add, there was some like, it sounded like country music part of
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
why did you put those things into this particular song?
Yeah, first of all, that that's like a proper Americana fiddle like that I've used in the middle for the interlude. And for me, my approach to music is very similar. Like it's about translating those emotions that I want to speak about, and
Okay.
I try to find the closest instrument or the closest sound that can translate that emotion uh, into that sound. And for me, the most exciting part is because I started playing with independent bands and I've traveled quite a lot. Like I've collaborated with musicians from all over the world. And my biggest learning is when I collaborate with another musician from another culture. So I get to learn so much more than just music. And I
Yeah.
always find my I always find that that's more like a bridge to connect cultures when we collaborate. And like so my music is filled, and also I consider myself, though I am from India and I have this identity from Chennai, and I come from here, I always consider myself as a citizen of the world. Like I relate
Ooh.
to all music. Like uh no, I've spent so much time in the US, and like I've collaborated with so many musicians from the US. And I started listening to music from South America. I feel so close to Latin music. I feel so
Ooh.
close to Arabic music. And when I sit to make music, I don't think of, okay, where am I going to borrow this sound from? I belong to all these styles of music. I feel a part of Appalachian music as much I feel a part of folk music from here.
Oh, that's great.
I find that connection. So my music has all these influences, and it just seamlessly happens. I don't pick a country fiddle and say, okay, let me insert this influence here.
Right.
It just happens because that gives the emotion that I need for that song. So
I love that. It's a great explanation. That is so cool. Um, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was thinking, because that's how I kind of feel like with music. I love all kinds of music. Like people are
yeah,
like, "Oh, what's your favorite kind of music?" I'm like, "Well, let's see. I love reggae. I
yeah,
love hip hop. I love rock and roll. I
yeah.
love pop music. I am now loving music from India, from classical music to the new stuff to I've heard and I love Spanish music. My
Mhm.
wife is Mexican. I love Spanish music. One of my
Oh,
favorite bands is Mana. Um,
oh, that's one of the artists we used to perform when we started off early on in 2002 and 3.
oh
Mana.
wow, there.
Yeah,
I mean, I love their music,
yeah,
and but that I love that though because music. I think people forget sometimes. Music is an emotion. It's not
exactly.
it's not necessary. Now, can you write? I think can you write a song that connects to a certain culture in a certain
Yeah,
area? Yes, for sure. Um, but I think music itself is just an emotion. Um,
yeah.
I love that. That's so cool. Um, now, I'm looking at the video here. I was going through it. By the way, the video is really cool too. I don't know who did all the direction and all of that, but that is just a really fun video to watch.
Thanks, man.
Really cool video. Did you do that too? Is that something that you worked on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, so the movie though. So we're just talking about the song right now, guys. We haven't even touched on to the movie. The
Yeah.
movie. Why did you decide you wanted to be a director? And what is the movie about? I feel like it might have something to do with your life. I don't know.
To answer your first question, uh, I for my approach to directing a movie is like pretty much similar to how I approach music. And uh, if you can say stories through sounds on a song, then like films are a medium where you just say stories through visuals and characters. So for me, it wasn't a huge leap as most people consider it to be.
Okay.
It was just like making music for me. And I'm always fascinated by films, and like I like, just like how I listen to music from all around the world, from Cuba to like Bulgarian folk music, everything that I can connect to. I also watch movies from all around the world, like, and some of the most interesting movies I've seen are from like from some corner of Ukraine, or like
Wow.
or from Brazil, or from Algeria. Like I love to watch music movies from like what's called as foreign language now. It's like, so
Wow. That's cool.
so I'm always like very interested on, like, fascinated by stories from different cultures and all that.
That's
So when I had this
good.
idea, like, so I just started like writing the script, and it did not take me much time to write the script. It took me 2 weeks to write the script, but I had the idea in my head, like, and I always sit to write once I know, okay, I've pondered enough in my head with all these ideas. Now I see a pattern in this idea, so now it's time to put it down as a script. So, and to answer your second question, I think, yeah, there's so much of what I've seen growing up in the 90s in the outskirts of Chennai, and like studying in a Christian school,
Hmm.
and like going through the whole of 90s, which I think is like the most fascinating time for me, because it was the end of analog era and digital era is about to come. And I had the opportunity to see both and enjoy the great sides of like both these eras. So I always have a fascination for 90s and for the sensibilities of the 90s. So there's quite a lot of what I saw when I grew up in my school, and like what I saw around, and also it's mixed with some amazing fiction. So it's part fiction and like part reality of what I saw.
That's cool. So you take the fiction, but that's what artists do, right? They take their
Yeah,
own personal experiences and they put them into either music or movies or to whatever else they're creating. Um, but that's what connects us, the audience. We get to connect
exactly.
with you, you know. Um, Believe it or not, here in the United States, there was, and I can't remember. My brain's not working right now, but
Hmm.
people used to go to these record stores and they would
Hmm.
go and line up the same thing, and you would listen to records
Yeah,
at the store, and that's what people did. It was like a hangout, it was like people would hang out and do that. And so like you were experiencing the same things that we were experiencing, we just didn't know
exactly.
it because we're on the opposite sides of the world,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. Yeah, 90s was the best though. I mean,
yeah. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
oh man, I consider myself an 80s kid, with a little bit of 90s because
Hmm.
I let's see, how old was I when 90s started? So 1990, I was 14 years old.
Hmm.
So I experienced both the 80s and the 90s. Excuse me.
Yeah.
80s and the man, excuse me. The 80s and the 90s has some of the best music, by the way. I think it's
Oh,
just
I love the music from 80s and 90s too. I was 10 years old when it was 90. So I
yeah.
kind of have some influences from the 80s too. So I
Oh yeah,
do
for
quite a lot.
sure. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And
Um,
this film, sorry.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and also this film is about a bunch of people. It's like you get to see four of them in this video, but the film is about, there are about 14 to 15 like characters, like, and the movie revolves around like these characters. So it's about a bunch of people. It doesn't
Oh
follow the
wow.
usual protagonist and like the usual like lead hero and lead heroine kind of a setup. It's pretty much about a group of people, and like it's about their baggages, it's about their struggles, and like what's their happiness. And so
Okay.
so it's more of like a bunch of people in it.
Oh, I like that. That's kind of fun. So is there any before we end this, I do want to give you the opportunity to give credit to people who you feel need to get some credit for this project. I mean, I'm seeing all the names. I can say, obviously the singer I recognize right away because Jonita Gandhi, and I'm like, wow, that voice is incredible. But I know there's people that are behind the scenes on things like this, and if you feel free to take the time to say hi to some people or give people some credit that you feel need to get some credit. Go ahead. You can go ahead and do that.
No, there's quite a lot of people, and uh, I think I have to thank and appreciate every single person who's come into this project, because it's like a proper independent film, and like
Yeah,
we had quite a lot of constraints, and like we had to really push it through to make some of the things happen. So every single technician and every single performer who worked in this film, I think I owe a lot, and I really need to appreciate their time and effort that they put into it. And everybody who's been part of this film, like they put their heart and soul into it. So
that's great.
every single person, maybe.
I love that. That's cool. And you know, people think they see the face, right? They see the face behind everything. It's like, and I like for Dad's Den. Look, I'm nowhere near your level. I'm just a YouTuber here making some videos, exploring new things and everything. And everybody's like, Dad's Den, Dad's Den. And I'm the face, right? But I do have an editor who does edits my videos. She's awesome.
Mhm.
I have people know her, Revolver Rita. She's from Tamil Nadu, and she does all my social media stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and and people don't realize that there's people that have to help,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's important that we take time to recognize them. So I thank you for doing
Exactly.
that. I do appreciate it. All right. Any besides this project, is there anything else that you got coming up that we should get excited about? Or are you taking a break after all of this? What do you got coming up?
I've like, of course there's Rocky, which is going to release, and my work is done for
Yes.
Rocky, so it's quite an exciting project which I really had fun working on.
Nice.
And there are some interesting projects that I'm working on right now. In fact, I'm just about finishing work for my film, and I've already started working on other films, like making music for other films. So it's keeping me
Nice.
busy right now, and it's great that I get to kind of also, apart from making music from Tamil films, so now I get to also make music for Telugu films and like
Oh,
Malayalam films,
nice.
which is interesting for me because I've only been making music for Tamil films so far. So like there are about like 4 to 5 projects that I'm working on right now, like making music for.
Ooh.
So it is quite interesting, and like it's keeping me like super busy right now. So
Hey, busy's good. Busy's good.
oh yeah, yeah, of course. We've all
So,
had 1 year off from everything, so
oh my gosh.
we've got to make things up.
I know. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to doing
Yeah,
stuff.
it's exciting.
Um, yeah, for sure. Well, you know what, Siva, I really, really do appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know it's really
Yeah.
late over there. So thank you for staying up with me. I appreciate it. Or we're absolute opposite time, so it's crazy to try to do these things. And I can appreciate you staying up late for that. So thank
No,
you for
thank
doing
you.
that.
No, thank you so much for having me, because I really appreciate what you're trying to do. Like
Thank
from
you.
there, and I'm super intrigued, kicked, and excited about the kind of interest you have from the music here and from the culture here, and you trying to take it all around the world. Like I think you're doing a great job, and I wish you all the best, and I hope you get to reach to millions and millions of people all over the world.
Thank you. That's the goal. I really do want to share just as much as I can with this world. I want to make the world a little bit smaller for all of us when it comes to films and music and cultures and things like that. And that's one of the goals of this channel. Um, and when I can have somebody like you come on, it's incredible to hear, because you have these preconceived ideas of what you think somebody's going to be like. Okay, so he
Mhm.
does music and Tamil films or whatever. And then all of a sudden I start hear you talking about, you know, Elvis Presley and Sting and all these things, and it just makes me realize like this world's a little bit smaller than I believe it is. It's we're all more connected than we think.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And it's a wonderful thing. Congratulations on number one, the great song. I love this song,
Thank you so much.
and congratulations on the movie.
Thank you.
And um, I wish you nothing but success coming up on these next few projects you got going on, and then into the future. And then I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you, Sony Music South, for connecting us. I, I'm blown away by Sony Music South's generosity. So thank you for that, Sony Music South. Siva, um, I am going to be doing a reaction to this song. Okay, I've only
Brilliant.
listened, so that I've already recorded it. Okay, I've already
Oh,
recorded
awesome.
it, but I didn't want to tell you that at the beginning.
Mhm.
So it's already recorded, and I hope you're going to like it. It'll come out after this video. So
Great. Brilliant.
this video will
Brilliant.
go for, yeah. So anyway,
Brilliant.
um, thank you again
Thank
for
you so
taking the
much.
time.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for connecting to my music. It makes me really happy that you connect to my music.
Very
Thank you
good.
so much, and it means a lot for me.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Nandri, for all of your love. Please like Panaga, share Panaga, subscribe Panaga, please. And we'll see you guys in the next interview. All right. Bye.